Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex, and this episode's subject comes in from Banu Robbie, not sure. Talk about Assassin's Creed Unity. Okay then. I have played Assassin's Creed Unity from beginning to end, done just about everything there is to do in the game. And there is a lot to say about this fucking game, I'll tell you what. Is it quite as bad as the internet's made out to be? Well, that is the question. And I'd say on some fronts, people are kind of ignoring some of the things it does okay. But then at the same time, it's inexcusable to release a game in the state that this one was released in. Falling through the floor, the fucking frame rate, all of this just nonsense that we shouldn't be dealing with in 2014. I still don't understand why they didn't release Rogue instead, much like Assassin's Creed 4. Release it on both. Give them a year, give them a big year gap to work on Unity for that extra year, and then push the other one back a year. It would really invigorate the team, probably give them more time. And the thing is, it's very much just more Assassin's Creed, except this time it's just fucking broken. But my real problem more comes down to how it's just a step backwards. Because Assassin's Creed, it's not about the story for me. Ever since Revelations, was it? I just stopped caring. No, it was 3. It was 3 that did it. The story is fucking terrible. Because they set it up in these really interesting places in time, but they do nothing with it. They do nothing with the French Revolution in this game. They do nothing with it. It's fucking Romeo and Juliet with the fucking stupid assassins and Templar bullshit, and it's unengaging and stupid. At the beginning of the game, I actually like Arno. He's just Ezio 2.0, and he's kind of a cool character. But then the assassin stuff starts coming in. It's like, oh, is this again? Great, okay, perfect. And then when you move on to the actual mission design, that is one thing that is actually better than every single previous Assassin's Creed game. I think there's one tailing mission, and it's fucking easy. So that is a step in the right direction, because at the end of each sequence, you have this big assassination set piece where you're sort of allowed to do it the way you want to do it, which is that's been lacking from the Assassin's Creed franchise. The whole point is that you're supposed to be an assassin. But then at the same time, your tools for the actual assassinating isn't quite as fun as it was like in Black Flag. And the setting itself isn't quite as engaging as it was, say, in Black Flag. Because when it's all these cities, these large cities which all look quite samey, it's just not very engaging to run around and traverse and all that. And then, of course, you have... The thing I liked about Black Flag was the way it's paced. I don't think people appreciate how important pacing really is, because you start off, you've got these little cities, you can go and explore all that, and it gradually builds up, and you get your ship, and you get all the upgrades, and so on and so forth, and it's very well handled. In this game, you start off, you get to the point where the map is open to you, and boom, everything's on the map. All these missions that even you can't do are just there. When you open the mini-map and look at it, it's fucking ridiculous how packed it is, and it's overwhelming. It's too much. You don't know what to do. You're left there just like, Christ, what am I supposed to do here? Because usually what I like doing is going like area by area, getting your sync points, and then getting all the collectibles in that area, moving on. I tried doing it in this one, and it's just, you can't do it. It's too much. And there are certain perks you can't get until you move further on in the story and get all the upgrades and stuff. And speaking of the upgrades, that is one thing that is actually better about this game, because previously you start the game a certain way, with a set of tools and whatnot, and at the end it's very much the same. Whereas in this one, you get like a rating for your like power, like stars. Like you start off as a 1-star, and you gradually get to a 5-star badass that kills everything in one hit. And there's actually like a gear system, which is much better than all the previous ones. And there's all this loot and stuff, but it doesn't feel very good, because the controls in Assassin's Creed have never been that good. And I think it's now more than ever, it really shows that you need to just scrap this. This is it. You need to scrap the control scheme, and you need to design something that's far more intuitive and actually works for a start. Because you're still getting all these things where you're climbing up things you don't want to, you're falling off things all the time, you're bugging through roofs, you're not climbing up the right thing that you mean to, you're just standing there even though you're pushing up, and you don't know why you're not climbing up. It's a bit finicky, and you feel quite heavy, and you just don't feel like you have that much control. And the same with the combat. It's very similar to Black Flag in the way where you're just sort of waiting around for people to attack and countering them, and the weapon types, they all sort of feel the same, and there's not really any incentive to drive you forwards as much as there should be, because behind each one of these games is something perfect. They're all based around these fantastic, interesting events which should be incredibly engaging, but they never are. The stories always fall flat because they focus on all these things that we don't care about. No one cares about Connor's fucking dad and all that shit. No one cares. No one cares about Arno and his weird sister, who's not his sister, relationship thing that's going on, and all the Templar and all that, and then they bring in randomly just these characters from history who just sort of show up and they're like, hey, it's me. Look, it's me, Napoleon. All right, see ya. And that's it. That's all they do. And of course, they were flaunting this game as being like the co-op Assassin's Creed, and it's more sort of like an add-on mode, which is quite fun. I'll give him that. It's all right. It works well. The mission, you've got like actual co-op missions, and you have heist missions, which they're both fine. But once you've done them once you've got all the things from it, there's never really any point to go back to them again. So it's more of a side thing instead of basing the whole game around it. I don't know why they didn't sort of build it from the ground up to be a co-op experience and sort of have it more like in the trailers, which obviously always lie, where you had like them taking more of a direct approach to how the revolution itself was actually advancing, like throwing these political figures into crowds of just the people to deal with it instead of you doing all the assassinating. It's just more interesting stuff like that, and it never really happens. I really think this marks the point where I'm sort of done with this series. If they're gonna keep just flaunting it and pushing it out before it's ready, I don't think I can take it anymore. I mean, because it's so similar to the previous ones, and they're just not changing anything. So what's the point of me going back every year? The whole thing really is it's just a mess. Nothing is really. Oh god, I just remembered the most insulting thing that this game fucking does. So you have, you know, in Assassin's Creed, you got your chests around the map and all this nonsense. Some of them in this game you go to and you can't open them. They're called like something they're blue, instead of being normal white chests. And they say, oh, if you want to open this one, go to the mobile app and do a little mini game. All right, go do that, and then you can open this one. Is that all right? And then there are these golden ones as well, where it's like, hey, go to the Initiates website, sign up for that, and if you're a high enough level on the Initiates browser thing, well, guess what? You can have this golden chest. How about that? Go sign up for that now. Fuck you, Ubisoft. That is bullshit. That is sickening. That's terrible. It's horrible, because your map is filled with all this crap that you can't even interact with unless you go to all this proprietary crap. Sorry, I'm really bad at saying the word proprietary. There we go. It's insulting. It really is just terrible. And especially when the game first came out, everything was fucked. Nothing worked. The app barely worked. It never sunk with the actual website. Initiates was down for, 2 weeks? Didn't even work at all. So you couldn't even get the content that they locked out for you. That is insulting. That is terrible. We should not accept that. That is horrible business practice that right there. That's terrible. Not to mention that the mini-game app thing itself, it's like, in all the previous Assassin's Creed games, you've been able to do that mini-game in the game itself. But in this one, you actively have to go away from it, and the app itself, it's really bad, because they have these missions that, like in all the previous ones, where you train assassins, you level them up, and you send them on these missions which are based around time and waiting around, and the timings are like, okay, you got 12 hours to wait for this one, so what am I going to do for those 12 hours? And by the time you finish the game, by the time these guys are finished on these shitty little missions, and they give you 100 gold, and by then you've already got 1,000,000 gold in your character, and it doesn't even matter anymore. So it's really badly paced in that respect. So I guess in conclusion, Ubisoft, they need to rein it in a little bit, take their fucking time with their games. You don't need to have an Assassin's Creed every year. Maybe if you didn't, you'd even see even more sales of, I don't know, people wanting more and all that. Oh my god, it's this weird situation where the need and want is there, so they just shit one out every year, and it doesn't even make a difference to them because they sell so many anyway, and the internet minority might get angry about it, but to them it's like, whatever. We're swimming in all this cash. Should you buy this game? Well, it looks gorgeous. It's got some nice sounds, some good acting in it, I suppose. Some good, like I was noticing some of the facial animation and all that. It's really top notch. It's really well done, and especially now that it's sort of been patched a little bit, it does work a little bit better. But at the same time, we shouldn't be supporting these games which are fucking broken. 2014 is just a year of broken shit that doesn't work, and we shouldn't stand for it anymore. And the only way they're going to listen is by not buying the game. And even at this point, it doesn't even make a difference, does it? The game is already sold. It's sold millions. So what even can we do about this now? Are they going to change them? I'm really curious about this next one, what they're going to do. Are they going to... Maybe they're going to delay it? Because it's already leaked. The new one's already fucking leaked. It's in London. Spoilers, if you care about that sort of thing. So what do you guys think about this whole Assassin's Creed thing? Do you think it's acceptable that they're releasing these broken-ass games? Because I certainly don't. Have you played it? What did you think? What did you not think about it? Are you holding off until maybe it's more fixed or cheaper or something like that? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. Make sure you check out my other videos and the channel I Hate Everything for more. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Beware.